Music back to back to back on iLive Radio.
Welcome to bChic, Not Bougie. I'm your host, Alicia, alongside DJ Richie. How you
Yes,
doing
sir.
today?
I'm good. I'm the opposite of you. I feel like really energetic.
I actually hear it. I'm listening to you. Like, I'm good. I'm like, I am not.
So energetic right now.
I don't know why lately. I think it's the weather that has me up and down.
Well, it has everybody, but it's I don't know. Like we missed all of spring. When does summer start? June
21st.
21st. So there was basically no spring.
No.
There was basically no
We're just
spring.
jumping straight
We're
into
just gonna
summer.
go from
It's
winter
like
to summer.
Yeah. It feels like it's fall right now. It feels like it's fall. I even think I'm getting a cold, but I literally had to take a Tylenol cold and flu today because I was like sniffling.
Really?
Yeah, all morning. I was like, yo.
You been around little kids?
Maybe.
I know, like a lot of kids
Maybe.
been sick. A lot of kids been sick lately.
Been
like,
sick lately, right?
even at
but I
my
haven't
work.
been around sick kids, like anybody that has like a virus or a cold.
Maybe.
But let me tell you, I am like, I wasn't coughing. I'm lying. I'm not coughing. Just runny nose, like legit. It's just a faucet, and I have been, just sneezing like crazy. So when I took it today, it kind of just stuffed it up. And
You gotta get drugged up.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe
Yeah, get drugged
that's
up.
why I'm tired.
Oh, that's what
I
it
was
is.
like, why am I tired?
You gotta take the non-drowsy,
I took
the
the like,
daytime.
nighttime.
No,
I only had
what?
nighttime. I only had nighttime.
You might fall asleep halfway through the show.
Yeah, nighttime. I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, I'm
What?
not tired. I wasn't tired until like it literally just licked me when I was walking in, and I'm like, I don't understand. But maybe an hour ago before the show, I took Tylenol cold and flu.
That makes sense.
Anyways, how was your week? How weekend?
Weekend was good. I was supposed to be out of town. I was supposed to go to Edmonton. That didn't end up happening. I ended up going to. I just drove across the border. Drove to Buffalo. Yeah, I went to Buffalo.
Okay.
In and out one night and did a little shopping.
Okay.
And I came back and that was it.
That
And
was a good trip.
weekend. Yeah, it was like I'm really slowing down, which is the opposite. Like, but I'm really slowing down on the parties.
Yeah.
So I didn't do any parties this weekend, and I'm just trying to get myself prepared for that next phase of my life.
Hold on. What's that?
Huh?
What's that?
No.
Next phase is what? Marriage?
Just that whole like settle down. You know what I mean? Not
Get
really
married,
running the streets.
have more babies.
I mean, we're gonna get there, but I gotta start baby steps.
Okay. Well, do you want to get married?
I do.
You want more children? I'm sorry.
I do. I want ideally, I want
Is that really?
3 more.
Okay.
Ideally, but I'm willing to settle for. I'm willing to settle for whatever God gives me. If He gives me one,
Why
I'll take
settle?
it. I mean, whatever God gives me. Like if He says, "Bro, you getting 1 more," then that's it.
You'll take it.
I'll take it. But if I get 2 to 3, I'll be happy.
Okay.
I'll be happy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That was a good week, though. You had a good week.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. It was relaxing. It was chill. How about you?
My weekend. Okay, so I really don't remember what I did on the weekend. To be very honest, even as you're saying it, I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I had a good weekend. That's very weird. I do not recall. The Raptors played.
They definitely
I don't
did.
know why it is lately, but back in the days, I remember everybody's organized when it comes to these games, like what we're doing. And it seems like when we're trying to figure out what to do to watch the games or where we're going to watch it, nobody knows even up to the moment we're about
There's too
to
many
watch the
options.
game. I think that's probably what it is.
There's too many options because before it wasn't such a big event because they've never made the finals before.
Yeah.
So it wasn't such a big thing. Like you could literally just get up an hour before and be like, all right, yo, let's meet at Wild Wings or let's go to this person's house or whatever the case is. But now it just feels like it's such on a bigger scale. Like it's hard for you to walk into any bar, establishment, restaurant right
just
now.
To sit down and
just
enjoy
to go,
it.
No,
you know what? You just have to go early.
You gotta
that's
go
why I'm
mad
saying,
early,
can we plan this, guys? Like every single time, I'm like, I really want to watch the. Are you hearing the echo? Is that just me?
I fixed it.
I was like, my ears are ringing. I just feel like every time I wanted to watch the game, nobody knew what they wanted to do. But had they said earlier, we would have gotten proper seats at like a bar and ordered food and just chilled. But anyways, everybody was all over the place that I always ended up just watching it by myself.
Really?
Eating a big box of pizza.
Just like the first 2 finals games, right?
Yeah, the first 2.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The other 2 I missed. Remember, I was.
Oh right. those ones I watched at a sports bar in Brampton called Onyx.
Yeah.
It was lit. Like
lit.
they have TVs.
Yes. They actually do a great job
Every
there.
angle. I couldn't even pick what TV I wanted to watch. And then they have like a big, like a whole wall of a TV. So yeah, shout out to Onyx. It's a dope spot for those type of events.
P-Town?
Yeah, it was big. But
yeah.
game 1 and 2, yeah, I've done that at home too. Like,
how do you think they're gonna do game 3?
they need to win. They need to win.
They need to, but do you feel they're going to?
I feel like they're going to because they know, like, game 2, they let it, like, slip through their fingers. Because they didn't play good in the second half, and they still had a chance.
They're doing so well in the beginning. I never understand that. Like, what changes when you go back there?
It's just the energy and, like, the momentum.
Like, we're here. The city is behind you.
You rest for, like, 5-10 minutes, and it's just like...
Maybe they still need to rest.
You gotta work it back up.
Yeah,
and then the team that's like down, they come out swinging because
they're like, we've been losing.
Yeah,
we need to come back harder. That makes sense. It's like a little bit of reverse, but I feel like they need to act like this is their final game every time.
They do, because if they lose this one,
I'm scared.
Then like Friday, I think is game 4.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a really big game. So that's why they need to win this one.
We definitely
need to win this one tomorrow night.
Like we're going to at the same time.
I do too.
Because like they're missing a lot of players right now.
Yeah,
right?
and everybody on their team is mashup.
So
like,
it's
mashup.
Like Durant, all of them are just out. They're injured. I don't know. You may see some of them just pop up because, I've been watching like little clips and stuff, and some of them are like, well, if we'll see how it goes. So I don't know if they're playing with their heads.
That's what it is. It's the mind game. They're trying to keep
keep
you on your toes
mentally.
Yeah.
But that's not too bad. Did you watch the Anthony Joshua boxing match?
No, but I
Oh, you're all right.
Water.
Oh, okay.
No, but I saw all the memes and then I saw like the highlights and stuff. First of all, I'm not a boxing guy.
Yeah.
Like after I'd say like after the Roy Jones era, I kind of like that was it for me.
Yeah.
I kept up a little bit with Floyd.
Yeah.
Like his era, but I really couldn't tell you, like I couldn't name 5 boxers right now. But apparently this was a big deal. And then I saw the picture and I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a big deal. Because this guy looks like the guy looks like he can barely like hold his own like penis to pee. Like he just looks like I'm just saying he looked like that dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Because he's so big.
He's so big.
But you know what? Don't underestimate the stocky and short ones because they actually are the ones that have a better chance. I feel like when you're taller, I feel like you start to get over like, I don't know.
But you're supposed to have the reach and like all of those advantages.
Yeah,
and
but if you're so tall, we have more areas to hit.
What's the black dude's name? Anthony
Joshua.
Anthony Joshua. He's like cut and like your prototype boxer.
Yeah.
Body, look, everything, swag, and bro, you're not supposed to get knocked out like that.
And that was his first KO. Or not knockout, but like his first like loss.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to get.
But the other guy, he said his hits were a lot harder. Like, you know what I mean? Like Anthony was saying, like, don't underestimate him. Like, he's a short guy, but when you get a hit from him, you're really getting a hit. You know what I mean? And he looks like he packs a mean punch. If you were watching his previous fights, even the other guy,
he shouldn't have lost. I was just sad I didn't know about it before.
Yeah. Like,
so I could have just bet. I just would have bet like $10.
No, $100 would have gotten you $1,200 had you bet on the underdog.
Yeah.
And I'm mad. I wish I really bet on
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, but then we look at it and we're like, bro, that'd be throwing $100 away. Because we really think you're about to lose.
Well, you know what? I kind of didn't know. When I saw the guy, I was like, he's pretty... Like, I know he's short, but don't like... I'm short. Don't understand.
But just his body, his frame, like...
He's thick.
You just don't look like an athlete of any sort.
Look athletic at the same time. You're punching that person.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, look how trim those other guys are. You're punching, like, ribs almost. You know what I mean? It's impact is
but that's
harder.
The way people look at it is if it connects. Because they look at him and they're like, you don't have the
stamina,
hand speed,
the ability,
the speed. You get what I'm saying? So that's why people are looking at it like, bro, by the time you swing, you don't swing fast enough to actually.
Him.
They really did.
I think Anthony didn't even study him
as
much as he should have, because even with that being said, if you watched the other guy's previous fights or just training, you'd see he's quick. You know what I mean? So instantly, you should have been on your toes, like
That's pretty crazy.
the entire time. But yeah, and I hear they're gonna have a rematch possibly, so that's probably gonna happen like November.
If I was one, I
December.
wouldn't fight him again.
Is that the same?
Why am I?
It's the same thing. I'm like, bye, I'm on to the next
Hell
one. I
no.
need a new champ.
Yeah.
I need a new person to be,
Hell no.
to be fighting. So I don't know what that's about. I hope that he doesn't rematch. Like if he does, take time, because I was even like, I'm not sure if you watched the Muhammad Ali. He has like a doc, like a 2-part series doc that was out recently, and he had over 50 fights, and he's lost about like 4 or something like that. Either which way, he was even saying like a lot of the men that he fought, they were stronger than him. They hit harder than him. He's like, I was just quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you have to learn your opponent like that. And I think that when it comes to this match, it's the same thing. So just because, Anthony looks like the better person doesn't necessarily mean he obviously is. So.
Oh no, everybody learned their lesson. Everybody
He's so
definitely
sexy.
learned their
Boy. Yeah.
lesson. Not anymore, he lost.
Oh my God, he's still sexy. You know what? People lose, you get up. And so did Muhammad Ali. So you just got to get up and keep going. And don't call him a loser. Anyway. We're going to get into, what do we get into? News. Let's get into our Stay Woke news updates. So police are searching for 4 suspects after a teen was shot outside of a library in Vaughan on Monday. Officers were called to the parking lot of a library on Rutherford Road shortly after 2 p.m. for reported shooting. No immediate signs of the shooting were apparent, but nearby Emily Carr Secondary School was placed in hold and secure as a precaution. So the police later learned that a 16-year-old male student of the school had been driven to the hospital after suffering a minor gunshot wound. 16? Like, what's happening? Police say they confirmed that the teen was involved in altercation at the library parking lot, and he was not shot. Details, suspect descriptions have not been provided by the police, and they say the perpetrators may have been driving an older model silver Honda or Toyota with a sunroof, and anybody with information in this case to contact the police or Crime Stoppers. And anonymously.
I heard about this. I was like 16. That was one. He knows who shot him.
You feel like he does, eh?
Oh, definitely. It wasn't a party. It wasn't like a chance encounter, because one, that's not even. I know that area very well. I used to live in Vaughan, so there's a school, the high school there, Emily Carr. There's a library, and then there's the community center. So you're not going there randomly. It's not like a mall where, we could just run into each other by chance, like at Yorkdale or something. And for it to be 4 suspects or whatever the case is with this one person, like, who shot you. You know who shot you. So it's just on you now if you feel like talking or...
Do you feel a snitching when you tell on somebody who shot you?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you hear that? It's not snitching. So... Somebody shot you. You could have died. Thank God you didn't, and you're alive to say, X, Y, and Z. But nah, man, I'm straight.
Yeah, and I mean,
telling you.
I don't think it's.
Don't shoot me, because I will tell.
You're not justified, but there's a story behind that.
There has to.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I hope it's
not irrelevant. A lot of the times, especially back in the days, it was a lot of shootings going on, and a lot of them had to do with women.
That's what I was just about to say.
You know what I mean?
Really hope.
I hope not either.
It's not.
Don't impress nobody at no damn library.
Bruh.
Just do your work. Go home.
Really not. So
never worth a life. Never risking 16, a life for yourself.
Yeah. The older I get, the younger like those ages look to me. I remember when I was 16. You feel like you're growing and stuff. But the older I get, I'm like, bro, you a baby.
You are a baby.
I was talking to a girl the other day, and she told me she's 28. And I'm like, you little baby.
You have a whole life to have.
Exactly. So 16 now is just like a child to me, like a legitimate child.
There's so many things. Like, don't ruin your life at that age, especially. Anyhow, okay. The Ontario Chamber of Commerce is telling Finance Minister Vic Fedeli that ripping up a deal with the beer store could deter investors in the province. So I'm not sure if you heard of this. The Progressive Conservative government tabled legislation last week that they would terminate a 10-year contract with the beer store in order to allow the sale of beer and wine in corner stores. It was signed by the previous Liberal government and permitted beer and wine to be sold in hundreds of grocery stores. The president and CEO of our chamber says canceling a contract sends an alarming message to the business community in Ontario and beyond. Rocco Rossi says the business advocacy group has been supportive of this government by breaking a legitimate contract in a short cited approach, the beer store is threatening to challenge the Tory government's legislation in court. So that can affect having.
I've heard like the commercials, and they're saying the pricing has been regulated by the fact that it's been in the beer store or something like that.
Yeah.
But I guess when this was initially proposed, they said that nobody was going to lose their jobs. And now that
they're going to lose their jobs in the beer store, no one's
so
going to
they're
the beer store.
saying now it's going to be like 7,000 employees or something stupid that like across the province that are going to potentially lose their jobs. And the price of beer is going to be like higher.
Really?
Because it was regulated by the government, right?
Yeah.
Like because like LCBO and the beer store.
Yeah.
So now that it's going into like convenience stores or corner stores or wherever, the price is going to go up because there was no tax on it before.
Yeah.
So I guess now they're going to put tax on it. I don't know.
Well, I think what they should do with the grocery stores to kind of solve that problem and like the work issue is just to kind of, I think there was one grocery store, I'm not sure if it was Metro that I seen, where it almost looks like a separate store for selling wine, but it's within the grocery store. Cause it's
those wine ones.
Yes, but no, okay. But now it's like a mixture. I don't know if it was it in Bramley? I think it was Bramley Mall. I can't remember. I really think it was. But when I was walking past, I realized that they usually have that just the wine store. But this one, it was like wine and beer and like I think most of the liquors that they had there. So I feel like, and even if you walk into like a 14, was it Fortino's? I don't know why. I'm not remembering half these stores right now, but I can remember.
I think Fortino's has.
No, Loblaws. Thank you. It was Loblaws. It was Loblaws has like a little, like one aisle, and it's like, it looks like a little LCBO, a mini LCBO in a Loblaws. So and this one's off of like Burnenthorpe area. So I just feel like what they can kind of do is, instead of having all these separate beer stores, is just kind of to merge them into the grocery stores, and still just like they have like the, what's it called, cleanings, like not cleaning, but like dry cleaning stuff, like in the actual, you can do everything in one, like get my dry cleaning done while I'm going grocery shopping, get food, like they're little mini restaurants in like the Fortino's place. So why can't you kind of do the same thing with the beer store? I'm
sure there's like financial whatever you want to call it, like
but who's IDing you? Because realistically you have to be 19 and over, right? And so when I'm buying beer, if I can go to the checkout and just swipe it, who's IDing me?
Oh, so what I saw, I think you're only allowed to do it at certain cashiers. So okay. I've seen a sign, I think it was a Loblaws I went to as well. They sell beer.
Yeah.
And they have at the cashier, they have signs where it says, like, this cashier you could buy beer at.
Buy beer. And
I think those cashiers, or to work on that cash, they have to do their Smart Serve. I think they have to do their Smart Serve course. I think so. I think that's what I saw. But then
so even if you do so, then it's like you have to go to this line only for beer. Okay, that makes sense. I was just like, this is not making any sense to me. But which also that makes sense. But it kind of feel like it would make sense to kind of merge the two. That way you don't lose business, and like you still have, it's like inside of the grocery stores. But
it's crazy. If somebody thought, like, I'm sure people even in LCBO now, when you got that job, you would never think like my job could be in jeopardy. Like, you get that type of job and you're like, yo, I'm good for as long as I make it work. You know what I mean?
But it should, you know what? Then we should sell a lot more international drinks at the LCBOs, because look how many times people have to go to the border to get like a Ciroc and get like certain types of drinks. So if they really start bringing more of those type of things to Toronto, like, to like the LCBOs and the beer stores, then you don't really lose your sale, because we don't have to go across the border to buy those things.
It's all money.
I know. I'm
sure like they're not allowing those across the border for some type, until they can find a way to like financially benefit from it, like weed. But
then you still benefit, because you still get a cut. Like, it's still expensive to go flying just to go. You know what I mean? People always like, I'll send you a little extra money to go bring me back a drink. So collect that extra money, Canada, and and whatever, and get your liquor here. But anyhow. Lastly, police are trying to identify 2 suspects after an elderly woman's debit card was stolen during a distraction theft. So people, please be aware of this. It happens all the time, but this was kind of sad. But anyways, outside of Whitby at Walmart, the incident occurred on May 15, however, at the retail Baldwin Street location. They were investigating a male who was seen in security cameras hovering over a checkout of the store, an elderly woman was approached by one of the cashiers. The woman left the store, police said, and the man followed her. And they said, "Oh, I think you dropped like $20." So as she was searching in her purse, the suspect was able to manage to get her debit card, went back into the store, started to like use her debit card, went to the bank. See, yeah, it's tap business, right? Go to the actual, went to the bank. This I don't get. Went to the bank and was able to withdraw cash from it.
Did they watch her or she did her PIN?
Maybe.
They would have had to watch her.
They would have to. So they did all these things, went to a Royal Bank branch to do that. Obviously, when the woman realized her card was missing, she called the police. And images had been released of the suspects, but they haven't been identified completely. And there's a bunch of, I can just go on and on about what they look like, but you guys can go on CP24. So credits to CP24 for this information. And that's it for Stay Woke News Updates. Before I even get into you, Richie, I just want to shout out to Misha from Such a Pretty Mess for, doing my hair. As per usual, she's stunting with my braids. So I appreciate you, honey. So get at her for all your braids, hair, trim, treatment, everything. She's definitely, and makeup, by the way.
Yeah.
She's your go-to person.
Shout out Misha.
Such a Pretty Mess. Find her there. And
Instagram. That's Instagram.
It's Instagram.
Such a pretty mess.
That. Me too. Right? And yeah, go ahead, Richie. Any events? What's going on in the city?
So I mean, it's a real busy time. Spring. We were just talking about it before the show, or maybe it's during the show. My memory is not good. But we were saying that winter has now gone straight into what we think will be summer. So there's a lot happening in the city, and just by chance, by luck, by fluke, whatever you want to call it, the biggest event is happening, which is the NBA Finals. The Raptors are in the finals, people. For those of you who don't know, you live under a rock somewhere, but the Raptors are in the finals. So tomorrow is Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Raptors have now traveled to Golden State, and they're playing Game 3. The series tied at 1-1. And that will be happening tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So find your bar, find your lounge, find your room, wherever you watch the game. And definitely send all that positive energy to the Bay Area for our Raptors. Happening on Thursday, JobsInGTA.com presents the Mega Job Fair. And this is taking place at the Red Rose Convention Center. And it takes place from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So it's a short time window. So definitely, if you are looking a job, or if you're an employer, a new company, you want to hire some new people, get some resumes, make some contacts, this is the place for you. So it's a job fair to connect job seekers with potential employers. And you can sign up. Now, it is free. You can sign up at jobsingta.com/events, and that's this Thursday from 11 to 3. Happening Friday, the North by Northwest Music Festival starts, and it's taking place all the way until next week, June 16th. So you'll definitely hear more about that on next week's show, because they usually like to bring down a lot of artists or bring up a lot of artists.
Yeah.
And
what is the site?
North by Northwest.
I was like,
North by Northwest. So it's it's from the same people that do South by. Sorry, it's North by North. Yeah, that do South by Southwest.
Okay.
Yeah, in the States. So I think this one is either North by Northwest or North by Northeast.
So are there artists that are in the North?
No. So it's I mean, there's a focus on Canadian artists, but they also do bring in American artists as well, just for shows and seminars and stuff. And a lot of anyone that wants to be in the music industry. So it's a 1-week festival, so it's pretty dope. And then also happening on Friday, Game 4. Game 4 of the NBA Finals happens on Friday at 9 again. Raptors still in Golden State. And Game 4 is going to be a big one. Because like I was saying to Alicia before, if whoever wins Game 2, so if Golden State wins Game 2, then going into Friday, they could win Game 3, and it'll be one win away from the championship, right?
Could you imagine?
Exactly. But if we win Game 2 tomorrow, then Game 4 is big because we can win Game 3 and then be coming back to Toronto for Game 5, which is on Monday night next week. So Game 4 this Friday again, send all your positive energies for the Raptors. Happening Saturday. It's kind of an early Father's Day event, but I think it was pretty dope. So I just want to let everyone know.
Father's Day is coming up. out?
Yep, next weekend.
Is it next weekend?
Not this weekend, but the next weekend after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, young and potential fathers, in collaboration with Harriet Tubman Community Organization, present a pre-Father's Day event. It's called the DAD Festival, and it's taking place at 260 Dawes Road in East York. So basically, it's a festival. It's free. It's a free family fun day honoring fathers, which is pretty dope because there's not usually a lot of events or things to honor fathers. And it takes place at Taylor Creek Park from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's going to include live performances, free food, snacks, family games and activities, and prizes, and lots of giveaways. And there's also their signature event, which is called the Dad Olympics. So, like I said, that's taking place this Saturday. It's a free event.
Yeah.
You know, take the kids, take the man in your life, take your dad if you want to, whatever the case may be. Definitely check that out if you can. And last but not least,
take those zaddy.
Yeah. Sure, whatever those are. And last but not least, on Sunday, June 9th, for the culture, the boat cruise. It's a cruise to Wakanda. And this is happening on the Empress of Canada, featuring Fire Kid Steenie, DJ Skits, DJ Shy, DJ Empire. I saw pictures from this event last year. So basically, like, remember when the, like, yeah, all the Wakanda
the whole garments,
stuff.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
That's
a lot
also
of,
they're
like,
doing the theme.
The theme, yeah. So cruise to Wakanda.
Black Panther. That's
yeah,
cool.
so that's pretty dope. Tickets are $50. The boat boards at 7 and sails at 8 p.m. sharp.
Okay, that's a lot of events going on, eh?
It's a busy time.
We in June.
It's a
Can
busy
we get
time.
some sun?
I know, right?
So
I've seen people in boat cruises over the weekend in jackets.
It was cold. No, I wasn't doing it.
It was just like
we need. I was supposed to go to Warner's this weekend.
all way.
And I was like, I'm tired of this weather. I really am. So I went.
It was a lot. It really was.
It was a lot. It was too much happening. That would have been the only part I would have went to, but I just went to bed. I was over this. I feel like I just want to hibernate until I really feel like the sun is coming out. So we'll see. We're gonna get into the fashion buzz. So this week's fashion buzz is none other than Jay-Z. I mean, he may have 99 problems, but being a billionaire, Jesus is definitely not one of them, and that's hella amazing. I'm so proud of him. That's crazy.
It's huge. It's huge.
So yeah, Forbes crowned the music icon as the first billionaire hip hop artist in the world after being an empire with his music and investments in a real estate companies such as Uber, art, and liquor. Look at God. So the 49-year-old artist is not only the first rapper to achieve billionaire status, but he's also one of a handful of entertainers to even reach this goal. So it's if he's a billionaire now, like, could you guys only imagine what will happen in the next years from now?
Yeah, because I don't see him losing
slowing down,
money.
stopping. No, and he's like honestly just getting started. He's gonna be working with Swiss Beats as well, that they told Forbes. But Jay-Z's assets include like a $75 million music catalog, his music streaming service
Tidal.
Is it Tidal?
Yeah.
I was going to say T-Dale or T-Dile.
No,
Tidal. That's worth an estimated $100 million. Entertainment company Rock Nation worth $75 million. A $70 million art collection, and real estate worth about $50 million. Jeez.
I think the art piece. How much was the art? Like 50
They said the art pieces are like at this moment, anyways. You know that can always go up, but a $70 million art
70
collection.
million. Like, I think that's what tripped me out the most, because you wouldn't like how many people do you know personally that own art? You know what I mean? Like, that actually own art. And for me, I mean, I've heard him rap about it, but like, he was real with it. Like, he really went out and just kind of dove headfirst into that world. So that was pretty dope.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
And it's for your children's children. You know what I mean? Things that you don't even really want to necessarily get rid of. They can have their own little museum.
It appreciates. I think that's the thing what he did. Like, because if you look at what he has, like, he has real estate, he has his music, he has art. Like, everything for him, it appreciates. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that he has, or very little, that will depreciate. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Alcohol is whatever. Like, you'll be hot, and then you're not, type of thing. But you can sell that. The moment you see that, you know what, there's a drop off, you can sell it. Like he did with like Rockaware. Exactly. He saw that, you know, Rockaware brand was like, okay, it had its time, it had its moment. It's time to get that off the books. Exactly. You know what I mean? So I just look at all the things he has that is actually like stuff that's going to gain value over time. Like you said, pass it down to his kids.
Pass it down.
That's crazy.
And they never even have to sell it because realistically, have a museum.
Yeah.
Can you picture this museum between his mother and the father? Lord, I would go there. I would visit. You know what I mean? Especially kids coming up of the age like later on. Like that'd be pretty dope to go visit. But we have to obviously celebrate you because this is too big. Like when I seen that this morning, I was like, well, damn. Like that's. I know they were saying between him and Beyonce, they just reached $1 billion
like last year
or the year before, something like that. And so to do that on your own, and that's dope. I just have to really put I don't have a hat on, but my braids off to you because that's really. Well, I also want to celebrate a couple more people in the industry and Black people because I'm just so proud of y'all. Mm-hmm. Serena Williams is #1 athlete on Forbes list to reach the richest self-made woman. So she's the 23-time Grand Slam winner and has reported a net worth of $225 million. At this age, like I just don't know what else to say. Like she's amazing. She just seems like a superhero to me because at the end of the day, like her body, her drive, like 23-time Grand Slam. I don't know how you could do that. Like you just seem superhuman to me. But so proud of you, Serena. And lastly, my girl, because I love her. She's a Pisces too. Famous first as a singer, Robin Rihanna Fenty, and she's only 31. Had since she evolved into a style icon and later got into makeup and into fashion and entrepreneur. She will be the first Black woman in charge of a major luxury fashion house. And all of her efforts add up to $600 million. That's her fortune at this moment, and making her the wealthiest female musician in the world. And she's ahead of people like Madonna, who has $570 million, Celine Dion, who has $450 million, and Beyonce, who's at $400 million. As we know right now, so I feel Beyonce's has probably gone up a little bit, but at the end of the day, right now as we speak, it's at $400 million. I'm most proud of Rihanna when it comes to this because everybody was so like, where's her music? What's going on? But my girl's making cheddar. Forget the music. I feel like the music is just like millions. It's money. It's good money. But it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy to rehearse, to tour. It takes a lot on your body. And she said it many times. And a lot of artists complain about it too, you know? So, and it's a lot of pressure on you to perform and to hit after hit. So with her, I love the fact that she went into a market and took over because Kylie obviously was doing it, is now a billionaire, and it was like, why the hell is nobody else doing this? You know, it is, if you have the money to start, it's easier money to make, and women especially when you have an A-list celebrity like that you genuinely like her clothing, her style, you know, how her makeup is done. So people want to know what you're using for your skin, and that now that it's yours, being the first to even come out with the 40 shades was amazing already. And then to top it off with, this is what you're doing, it's just inspiring so many more entrepreneurs, minorities to want to kind of do the same and, you know, take risks, because that is a really big market for anybody to get into. So kudos to y'all. That's making me so proud. I feel like a mother, I'm not even a mom.
No, I think it's like when I see the numbers that they're doing, I'm proud. Like same thing, I'm proud.
Right?
But, you know, that is happening because a lot of times even business people, like for so long, the Forbes list, I think like Oprah used to be like the only one, you know what I mean, as a Black person, as a Black woman. So now that you have the Beyoncés, you have the Rihannas, it's just like, yeah, we stepping outside of what you've tried to box us in as just entertainers, and now we're legitimate business women. Like, we at the head of the table.
Exactly. Because remember, once upon a time, I know Oprah, I don't want to say it's all rappers, but once upon a time she didn't really want a lot of rappers on her show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that. And now look at them. Like, look at people like Jay-Z. Not to say that she didn't want Jay-Z at her table, but I'm just saying, like, it just, you don't even look at things like that anymore. Like, you're on Oprah money. You're on Oprah status when it comes to that type of stuff. So honestly, it's really something to look forward to when it comes to what's to come with these artists and even just people around you. You know what I mean? A lot of people have $1 million and $1 billion ideas. You just really kind of have to find that that right path to kind of get you there. So, and the people to connect you to the right people as well to make that actually happen. So don't give up on your dreams. Definitely focus, because this is just motivating to me. I feel like,
and there's a lot of people that are behind the scenes, like not secretly, but everybody thinks like the fame has to come with the money. It really doesn't.
Yeah, no.
Because Jay-Z has said it. He's like, I've made more millionaires than like Forbes or something like that. He said it in one of his raps.
Yes.
And he has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By association, and people that have worked with him, people that have worked under him, people that he's employed, people that he's put in positions of power. Like, they all made money. You know what I mean? Like, we know about, if you think about Rockefeller, you know about, Jay, you know Dame, you know Biggs. And a lot of people didn't even know Biggs back in the day, like Biggs, Kareem Biggs Burke. Yeah. A lot of people didn't even know who he was till, his name started popping up in raps and that stuff. But he was there making the millions right beside him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of unsung people there as well that, like you said, if you have an idea, don't think you have to get a Rihanna to endorse it or a Beyonce. No. There's a lot of people out there with some money that are just like, I think part of the entertainment I was doing with Serena, she has a venture capitalist company. Yes. And she's invested over 30 startups.
It's on Bumble, I believe it is.
Bumblebee.
I
think Bumblebee is one of the companies. Yeah.
So yes, and I think it's actually Bumble.
Oh, Bumble is
Bumble,
her.
You download the Bumble app, and at one point, I know they were looking at business proposals, and they were offering I think it's like 30 to 40 million. I can't remember exactly the dollar figure, but to entrepreneurs of color.
Yeah.
So it's just something that you definitely want to start getting involved in. Look around. There's online, even if you just type in women of color, men of color, stuff like that, especially younger generations. Like, I know when we were growing up, we didn't really have that type of guidance to know what to do when it came to starting a business.
Or even the exposure.
Go to school. Just go
Yeah.
straight to school. And nowadays, I know I don't want to say this out loud, but like nowadays, I'm not saying don't go to school, but what I'm going to say is get an education, read, focus and own your craft. At the same time, depending on what you're going to school for, really, really educate yourself, because sometimes what's stuck, it keeps you in this little box, is the fact that like you owe student loans and you mess up your credit and now you can't get ahead because you're focused on just paying it back. Whereas when you want to be focused on the next step, even taking that loan to start your own business would have been something more creative to do with that money than to just say, let me go to school, get a degree, and then it's no jobs available in that field. So make sure when you're going to school, if you're going to go to school and spend big money, make sure there's plenty of jobs available in that area, or create one. And if you're going to create one, educate yourself first and make sure it's something that you really want to do, because there's nothing worse than wasting time. I almost think it's better to kind of just, read up on things, do internships, work with people before you just jump into the field 100% and get an idea.
It's funny, not funny, but I read Fabulous had a post on Instagram, and he said it, and he's like, the bank will give you $20,000 in student loans right away,
instantly,
but they won't give you $20,000 for a business loan. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's still a loan that you gotta pay back.
To start your business.
So something that, when you get a student loan, yeah, you're going to school and whatever, but they know you're not making income, or what I'm giving you this money for isn't bringing in income right away that you could pay this back.
You're gonna have to owe me.
But a business where you can go and make income and be paying me back right away, and maybe pay it off before the full term of the loan, where I don't get all the interest money.
Yep.
Nah, I don't want you to do that.
I agree.
I'm going to give you a student loan so that you owe me forever and never. Amen.
You don't want that.
Like, it's you hear it, like it's known, but
it's
when you
real.
hear it and you really think about it, you're like, yo, that's so true, because it's the same money.
Yep.
It's the same loan.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to pay it back one way or another. But you'll give it to me for this, but not for this. Because if you give me 20 grand for a business and my business flops and fails, I still have to pay you back.
And even if you know what, to be honest, and I don't want to promote this either, but you can file for bankruptcy. I've seen people who are in big business. They don't file it under their name, they file it under their business, and they file for bankruptcy. I'm not saying to do that, but I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, it's you fail, you pick yourself up and you start again, and at least this way you know where you went wrong. Whereas you go to school, you haven't even got to start yet. All you've done is just the work, but
you go through
it's like the paperwork,
and then you come out, and then you're like, I don't even know the first step of where to go after this. So again, we're not saying not to go to school.
I can't. I'm just saying that. I ain't telling nobody, like, what, bChic, Not Bougie people told us that, don't go to school. I'm definitely not saying that, but I am going to be promoting this like crazy. Like, I feel like being an entrepreneur, it makes so much more sense when you know what you want to do and you know it can make money. So if that is the case, you still have to get education. You still have to learn, even if it's taking courses and classes on what to do, and even just business courses and stuff like that. You still go to school. But when it comes to certain professions, sometimes I look back and I'm like, why did I do such and such? You know what I mean? And it's not to say that I didn't learn from it, but then you look now and it's oversaturated in that market. Everybody's doing it, and a lot of them didn't even go to school for it. And so they're almost ahead of me because they didn't go to school and they use that money to start funding their business. And
they went through like that 4 years. They fell. They got up. They fell again. They got up.
Or they just worked their ass off and use that money in the meantime while you're in school, thinking you're going the smarter route, and you're kind of really screwing yourself over. So I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to go to school, but again, it depends what you're going to school for. And remember that there's a day that I was reading a list of, I don't know if I was reading it, I'm pretty sure I was reading it here. I was reading a list of like courses or programs that you're taking in school that are not the greatest, although they say they're really great to take. I'll post those again if I'm on like my social media on bChic, Not Bougie on Instagram. But I mean, like, things like that, to me, it's like one thing when I have my children, I'm stressing to them, like, what if you want to be a doctor, a nurse, if you want to be a firefighter, any of these things above, like, yes, get into the field, work, whatever, do your thing. But when it comes to going to school for, I don't know, like
fashion,
especially fashion, guys, don't do it. Fashion, even psychology sometimes these markets are like, people are being their own therapists nowadays. They're going on these shows and doing the most. But I mean, there's a lot of different areas where you gotta really look into it before you just say, I'm gonna do it. But there's a lot of it. Even makeup artists and stuff like that, like, a lot of them are self-taught. You know what I mean? Go, like, learn it, own your craft, get a clientele, do some work for free, pro bono, do whatever, build up yourself, and shoot, you'll see that you don't even need to do certain things and waste money. Use that money to get your makeup kit. Anyhow, I can go on and on and on. Before we get into, actually, yeah, because I'm done that. So before we get into entertainment, I just want to quickly get into fashion for 1 quick second or two. I just have some items here. So Fab Finds. You guys know me and my deals, okay? And I always find a good deal. So this is the perfect time right now. June is a perfect time to be shopping for even back to school. I know it sounds very stupid, but there's a lot of items that are on sale, a lot of winter items that are on sale, and fall items that are on sale, because they're bringing obviously the summer stuff. But they still have some spring, sorry, not spring. They still have some winter and fall items right now, and especially boots and thigh-high boots and whatever ankle boots you can think of. These little sock booties or shoes, whatever you want to call them, sock booties, ankle boots, were actually a great deal, and these were at Forever 21. And guess the price, Richie?
$29.99.
Why you guess so low?
I don't know.
I know, that's okay. No, you're supposed to guess low. I'm like, why is he guessing so low? It was actually, they were more than $24. I can't remember the
How much were they originally?
Oh, that's what I was looking for. Now it's in my bag. I think they were like, I want to say almost $50. $50. We'll just say ballpark $50. They went down to $24, and I got them for $13. Okay. These are great deals. So ladies, I mean, I know this has already been in. We've already seen these, but this is the perfect time to get them. Imagine spending $99 at like Zara or, other stores or more, these high-end designers, where you could have gotten these little booties for like $10, $13 and still paired it with a cute little outfit and look like $1,000. So I would say this would be perfectly paired with some denim shorts, distressed jeans. I would say with a cute little either a t-shirt, but a fitted one, or crop top, and a little blazer to go on top of it, accessories, you name it. Play around with color. This would be your pop. Match your lipstick with it, your nails with it, and everything else could be more of a subtle color, more of a neutral color, and that would be pretty dope. But yeah, these are really, really cute, and I know she's not paying attention because he don't give a damn about this.
I mean,
but I do.
They're just weird looking.
You know what? They're cuter on, and I would
have. That's the whole thing.
Well, while you're talking, I'm gonna try them on and just kind of put.
They're weird looking.
They are weird looking, but like, picture this. It's just literally like they're stilettos, right?
And then you have on like a tights.
No, like a sock.
Yep.
Like a tight sock. But yeah, this is pretty much what it is. So yeah, there's your Fab Find deals. Listen to me when I tell you guys this. Definitely, please. I'm your personal shopper and stylist. So get at me at bChic, Not Bougie if you are looking to, like you need some shopping done for your back to school for your children, or you don't have the time to shop for yourself. I'm your girl. Get at me for rates. But as far as deals go, I always find really great deals. So go right ahead. And while you're talking, Richie, about your entertainment, I'm about to put on one of the shoes.
All right. So a couple of stories I came across. So Chief Keef is in the news. So one of Chief Keef's, and this blew me right away, one of Chief Keef's 9 baby mothers is suing him for back child support to the tune of $500,000. So essentially, it's 471,000 and change. So basically, this is kind of weird because one, she's 20 years older than him.
She's 20 years older than him?
Yeah, she's 43. He's 23. And they have a 3-year-old daughter. No, sorry, not a 3-year-old. They have a daughter that was born in 2013. So she's 6 now. They have a 6-year-old daughter together. She's 20 years older than him.
She looked good.
I didn't get to see.
I'm gonna. Okay, so it's okay. Anyways, you keep going.
So
pause. You like these?
Sure. I gotta.
I'm trying to show it.
I guess they kind of work.
They would work. I'm gonna show you with a cute little outfit in the summertime.
Okay.
After this. Go ahead.
So basically, previously they went to court and she was awarded. Now this bothers me. She was awarded $2,500 a month in child support.
That's what she was on
initially.
Top of what she was getting?
No. So initially she was awarded $2,500 a month, but she later somehow, some way, got it raised to $10,700 per month.
He has 9 kids. What do they need for one child?
$10,000. It's basically $11,000. $11,000.
You don't even gotta work.
Month. No, you definitely don't gotta work because you're not going to go find a job. But
she better be working.
Why?
What do you mean? Why?
Why in the world would you work?
When free paper bun up, then what happens?
When the child is 18?
Well, a lot of women.
You better stack and stack and.
But a lot of women don't do that. They live beyond their means. They want to be flashy. They want the expensive stuff. And then I agree. They're very greedy.
Because there's no way. I think there was a story recently about who was the one that said Nas about Nas's baby mother.
Yep.
How she said like she was homeless. She was like she wanted to go stay with him, or I don't even know the whole story. But bruh, you were getting like double-digit thousands for months for this child. How do you not own a home? How does your child not own a home?
Because they were just spending, as I'm saying, they're living beyond their means.
This is what I don't understand, and I think the whole child support system needs to be revamped and relooked at. Because if you're getting $2,500 and you fight for more than that, just based off what he's making, that's not important or it matters to.
They need to look at the average woman who has a child and
base
it off of that, like with a good job, not like just like
not struggling to get by,
like getting by properly and being able to take care of your kid. That's what they should need to be based on, not the fact that your ex-husband or baby father makes millions, but simply off of the fact that like this is what an average person would make. Get a job.
And I don't understand why there's so many stories of this. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes in the courts, but we've seen it with like Chris Brown before he got custody of his daughter. We've seen it with Black China and Rob. Rob was paying $20,000
we also see
a month.
with Mary J. Blige as well. There's a lot of women.
Mary J. Blige is paying
Fantasia.
$10,000 to her husband.
More than that.
Oh shit! Seriously?
Yeah.
A month?
A month.
Jeez.
It's alimony.
He hit the jackpot. See, alimony I don't get. I don't get how alimony works. But to me, child support is very specific.
Yeah.
Child support. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is for my child. Everything after that, that's your business.
That's your business.
That's your
That's
business.
what your business does.
But $10,000 a month for a child. That's $120K for the year. Tax free. You ain't working a second for it, like at a job. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you have a nanny, which means
that's what they do. They add the extras. I need a chef. I need a nanny. I need a private pool. I need a.
It's crazy.
Since when?
That's crazy.
No, go work.
That's very sad.
So yeah.
But also there's one other story. This one is not as, I guess, quote unquote entertaining. And yeah, Chief Keef has 9 baby mothers. That part just threw me. He's 23. He was a busy young man.
He's a very busy.
He's a busy young man.
When were you having sex, little boy? When?
But
I was 8.
And not such a nice story. So a Florida deputy who failed to confront a gunman during last year's Parkland massacre has been arrested on 11 charges and faces up to 96 years in prison. So his name is Scott Peterson, and basically he was one of the officers at the school last year in Florida where the kid ran in. I think he was a former student, and he ran in and killed 17 kids. They have video footage of the officer outside of the school. Like, his job is to be at the school.
Yeah.
And he left the premises. He never went inside. Like, he heard everything. And then one of his reports was that, he only heard like 5 to 6 gunshots. Then it stopped. So he thought it was over. So he was trying to go and secure the premises. And basically through like over a year of investigations and 400 something interviews and video surveillance, they found that like he basically didn't do what he was called to do, which is serve and protect and all that stuff. And now he faces up to 96 years because he's getting charged not with the murders, but like for each one. Yeah. And that's pretty crazy. That's your job. You had one job. You had one job. And somehow, some way, he killed 17 people, the child. But they said that based on the investigation, they found that had the officer gone into the school, he could have saved 6 people.
Could he have quit and not been charged then? Like, could you have been?
Like, oh no, he quit.
Like, there's people that have genuinely never been in the line of fire when it actually, you know what I mean, and they think they can handle it until it actually happens. Like, those are the moments where you decide, I'm gonna quit. Like, I quit. So technically, if they were to try to sue,
it works that way.
I feel like it could. Because if you realize this is no longer for you in that moment,
you gotta put in like a resignation.
I would give that gun just like, here, you become the
then you might have some other charges. If you were going around giving guns to the first kid you see, like, you look like a shooter. Come.
You look like a good young man.
No, that's not cool. But yeah, so sad for the parents because they gotta like be reliving this whole thing again. But to know like my kid could have been one of the 6 that you could have saved, that's pretty crazy.
Nope. I need justice as well for that.
For sure.
Speaking of justice and children, have you seen, I know, When They See Us? It's on Netflix.
Yeah. I am going to this week.
I want to talk more about it, but we barely have time to really get into the nitty gritty. For those of you who have not seen When They See Us, it's a 4-part. It's like I want to say it's a movie, but the 4 parts is just pretty much it's like a whole movie altogether. When you watch all of them, it's really, really well done. When They See Us, it's from 1989 when 5 Harlem teens were convicted for first through the media and then later on twice in court for the brutal rape of a jogger in a New York City park. And this went on to like 2014 when Antron McCrae, Kevin Richardson, Yusuf Salam, Raymond Santana, and Corey Wise saw their names finally cleared in 2014. This, again, from 1989 to 2014 for a crime you did not commit. Majority of them served sentences anywhere ranging from like, I think 5 to 6 years for the 4 of them. And then Corey Wise was one of them who actually served up to like 13 years. The actual I don't want to say, but it's already like.
It's news. It's already.
It's news. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want to say, but I'm like, even me when I was watching it, I didn't know about it. Like I didn't.
No, I've heard about it because I think they got compensated after they came out.
They got $40 million.
Yeah, so I remember that.
That was they settled about 4 years ago. However, they're still looking to get, I think, another 40-50 million more. Which I don't care. Give them as much as you freaking can. Milk them, because if you watch the. I don't know how to explain it, but watching the first two was really just breaking my heart. And as I got further in to like the fourth one, which was only about Corey Wise and why why that one was so much more harsh. Like none of them did it. And just to see like, what's that bitch's name? Hold on a second. Just to see that Linda Fairstein, who needs to be in jail, because I'm really, there's so many things I want to talk about when it comes to this, so I don't want to get into this further today, but we definitely have to talk about it when you watch it, because the justice system is crappy, and it's still very shitty till this day. There's so many murders that these innocent men of minorities, of blacks, Hispanics, whatever, are being accused of, and they have no justice. First of all, half of these kids were 15 and 16 years old, 14, 15 years old, and only one of them, which was Corey Wise, who actually had to serve they served their time in juvie, and Corey Wise served his time at Rikers.
Jeez, as a kid.
If you ever, you don't even, I'm getting emotional as I'm thinking about it, but like legitly watching the fourth episode, like the fourth part, when you get to the fourth part, if and you guys watch this, I'm telling you, my heart was aching the entire time. But just to see how they handle them, from the correctional officers, from the prosecutors, from I can't. It's just innocent. It's innocent kids, like they're children, and when they come out, they're men, and then they still look like you still have you're a predator. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So getting jobs is difficult regardless. And then knowing this entire time you didn't do something, they were forcing them to say they did it. They were like, these kids didn't even know each other. They had their own friends, except for two of them that were friends. And literally one of them, Corey Wise, who served the longest sentence, which hurts my heart the most, is because he just felt like the police came and pulled his friend in. And then he was like, are you coming with us, or are you just you're gonna leave? They weren't holding him. He just came. He's like, I can't leave him because his mom would kill me if I left him. Wow. He fell asleep while they were all being prosecuted. And they over 20 hours or more, no bathroom break, no drinks, no food, nothing. Half of them didn't have their parents there. They were getting them to sign and make videos and waive their own rights to a judge, to a lawyer. Just so many crazy things and cruel things that they're doing to these kids, and placing them at the crime scene. Like, this crime scene will be here, they were over here. They were like moving the crime scene up just so they can place them together, although nothing from the semen on the jogger, no blood on these kids' clothes, no. Anyways, I can't get into it because it frustrates me. But there is a big petition right now going on to stop Linda Fairstein's book. So she is, unfortunately, she's New York's bestseller, one of New York's bestseller for her novels and books that she's been writing. Yeah. So after all this time, was writing books. They
need to give all of her money to them.
I agree. She needs to be in jail.
That too. She needs to take all her money,
but she needs to be in jail. And so, anyways, there's a lot that I want to talk about this. It really hurts my heart. But we don't even have time, because we never have time. We always talk up until this time, which is good for us, but not so much for you. So we're going to tune in again next week. More guests coming up this month and months prior after that. So please stay tuned. But thank you for tuning in to bChic, Not Bougie. I'm your host, Alicia, alongside DJ Richie. Yo. I think we definitely need to have like a guys and girls, men versus women again this month. So we're gonna try to do that, if not next month, because I always like those ones. We haven't had that in a minute. Scary. I know. It gets really a little wild here. But anywho, thanks for tuning in. Have a great and wonderful week. Peace.